Hello viewers and welcome back to an all-new episode of MLB 13 Road to the Show with our closing pitcher Gus Farmer. I know I've been gone for quite a while, a little bit over a month, and I apologize for that, but I will be coming out with quite a bit of new gameplay for you viewers, partly as an apology and also because I have the time now and I didn't have the time before. So no worries, I won't just post one video and then have to wait a month for the next one. There will be quite a few videos coming out this week, so stay tuned. Now, last time we left Gus, he had just finished his season as the AA closer. He was doing quite well, but was unable to make it past AA, so we will be preparing to get his first contract. Hopefully we end up in AAA, maybe even in the majors, we will see. And after every season, the game gives you a list of all the retired players for that season. It's pretty interesting, but we're not going to go through the whole list. It would take entirely too long, take up too much of the video. So let's see our contract. And we get a pretty decent contract, AAA closer for $156,000. We would like to get it just, get as much money as we possibly can. So raise it a little bit and see what type of negotiations we can get into. So generally, after you get a contract, the team is usually willing to negotiate with you, just as long as you don't try and up the contract by too many dollars. But right now I got myself stuck because they want me to lower how much I'm asking for, but the game will only let you go lower than what they're willing to give me. I'm sure there's a way to get around that, probably get out of the contract and then go back in again. But just because I didn't think of that right now, I take the lower amount for $171,000, and really pretty good for a 19-year-old. I wouldn't mind making that much money a year. So, and right now, as you can tell, we are on the 40-man roster because we are able to participate in spring training, which is definitely quite different than last season when we were stuck in AA and they wouldn't move us up at all. We were stuck off the 40-man roster. So as you can see right now, we're ranked second of the closing pitchers, have an overall rating of 65, so we're doing pretty good for just 19 years old. From the screen earlier, we were a top 50 prospect in baseball, so we're definitely moving on up, but we definitely have a lot of work to do. So for the spring training games, we're put in the middle relief role, which is pretty good for our situation. We just got moved all the way from AA to being able to participate in spring training, so it's really quite good. Our first opponent is the Washington Nationals. And as I'm sure you viewers are aware, the Nationals are in the NL East with the Mets, so even though it's just a spring training game, we want to make sure that we do very well, especially if we're going to wind up on the Mets MLB roster at some point in our career. We want to make sure that we do well against these guys because we'll probably be pitching against them. So first batter we strike out. So far so good. Need to get the rust off of Gus a little bit, but we're striking out people, so the long winter didn't do him any harm. And quick inning for us. Get an okay batter, but then 2 strikeouts. And we only threw 13 pitches. 13 pitches in an inning is really good. That's one thing with the MLB Road to the Show games. Sometimes you will just throw 1 or 2 pitches. Other times you will throw 10, 11 pitches. It can be really annoying when you get into those long at-bats, but it can also be a little frustrating when they swing right away because for a closing pitcher, most of your points come from the strikeout, so you want to be able to strike them out so that you can get usually double the points, because if they just fly out or hit a ground ball, then you're going to wind up with 10 points for your training points, but if you strike them out, then you'll end up with 20. So that makes a huge difference, especially if you're on a team that is not giving you a lot of save opportunities because you need as many points as you can get. So get a strikeout, and as you can tell, Gus, he's doing really well. They're not putting us into too hard of opportunities, though, so far. Both games against the Washington Nationals, we were not in too much trouble. The first game we did get a hold for, but we didn't have to work too hard for it, which is always a good sign. The second game, we were losing, so really not too difficult at all. Just want to make sure that you do not give up any runs so that your team has a chance to get back into it. So right now we need to get one out, but don't give up a hit, because a hit will most likely result in the Miami Marlins winning the game, and we definitely do not want that. We don't want a loss. So this is definitely a little bit of a sticky situation. It's only one out, and we wind up getting that one out with a strikeout. So Gus, so far so good. This game, as you will see in a couple seconds, is really quite interesting. Gus gets to bat with the bases loaded and one out. Gus has 0 training points put into his batting attributes, so I think the best thing to do is a squeeze play. So bunt it and hope that the man on third can make it to home. He does, and even though we are out, we still get the RBI. So far so good. We are winning, and in a second we will get to finish off the game. So Gus is put in the situation to where he right now has a win. All he has to do is make sure that the Marlins do not score 3 runs. So far so good. It's always a little nerve-wracking when Gus has to throw the first, because his fielding attributes are not the best. So don't necessarily put any training points in them, just make sure that the skills do not decrease. Generally the best thing to do. Once you're an elite pitcher, then you can start putting training points into the reaction time and throwing attributes of your player. So we wind up getting the win. Definitely a successful outing for Gus, and definitely a first. We never were given the opportunity to bat before, and we wound up laying down a decent bunt. So Gus, he should be proud of himself. So far he's doing well in his tryout during spring training. Might not make the major league roster on opening day, but hopefully we do. So next episode we will continue to pitch during spring training and hopefully keep the level of success that we have right now. Thank you for watching and have a good day.